The shower base is set, and the next step is to install the wallboard. Wallboard can either be sheetrock, hardy-backer board, concrete board, pretty much any wallboard system is fine to use. I do recommend throwing a coat of primer paint on the wallboard. The primer paint simply seals up any dusty nature of the wallboard, and also gives the silicone a good surface to adhere to. So once the wallboard is up, then the next step is to install the wall panels, the shower wall panels. Now these wall panels are going to go up to the ceiling. We're going to be able to hold the wall panels down a few inches because the top will be finished off with crown molding, kind of a cap style crown molding, which the wall panel will be able to slip underneath. First step is to install the back wall panel, and simply measure left to right and double check your side walls to see if they're plumb. And you will need to leave a little gap on each wall side. The gap is for a very small expansion contraction that may happen as the shower warms up and cools down. And also don't worry about the gap, because the side shower wall panels will butt into the back panel and cover any gap that's there. So measure up the back panel, double check your side walls for plumb, make sure everything's going to fit fine, and then we'll bring in the wall panel and install it. So the panel's been cut to size and brought in. We also wiped off the back of the panel with a moist cloth. I'm going to make sure there's no dust in the back of the panel. And do the same to the wall, make sure the wall is, clean. And also down on the base where the panel will set. Just make sure that is cleaned up. Once everything's cleaned, ready to go in, we go ahead and put silicone on the back of the panel. Now with silicone, we want to run small circles every 8 inches throughout the entire panel, and then we'll go ahead and put it in place. Okay, once the silicone is on the back of the panel, we also want to run a little bead right along the edges, about an inch from the wall, and then we're going to go ahead and pick up the panel and put it into place. Okay. You want to lean your end out? There we go. Once the back panel is installed, then we're just going to install the side panels. We begin with the right panel here. Setting it into place, double check how it's going to line up with the back panel. You can see how this side panel, when it rests flat on the bottom, the back wall does have a bow. The back wall is leaning in. And so what we're going to have to do is scribe the side panel and cut it to fit against the back panel. Now that's not that hard, just scribing the line. Onyx panels cut with regular wood cutting tools, so just with a regular circular saw or jigsaw we'll make the cut, and we may have to fine tune it with a belt sander. But we'll go ahead and set this in place and scribe a line, and then we'll go out and cut it. So we brought the panel out to the garage, and we'll do the cutting out here. Remember, Onyx wall panels cut with regular wood cutting tools. It's kind of an older circular saw here, but just a regular wood cutting blade on there. Went ahead and put some tape down to protect the Onyx surface. You can cut from the front side or the back side of the Onyx panel. If you cut from the front side, the finished side, you do want to protect the surface, make sure it doesn't get scratched. So we put the tape along our mark line here, and we'll just go ahead and cut it right on off. Once the panel's cut, bring it in, just double check the fit. We want a nice tight seam there. I would say maybe a 1/16 of an inch is acceptable, up to about an 1/8. But you do want a nice tight seam all the way top to bottom. So once you like it, then we're going to go ahead and clean everything up, wipe all the dust off, put some silicone on the back of the panel, and stick it to the wall. We have the silicone on the side panel here, so we're just going to set it in place. Run it up against the back panel. Next is going to be the plumbing wall shower panel, and we're going to go ahead and size the panel approximately, get it close, and then also put our hole in for the shower control valve and the shower head. And when we do that, we'll go ahead and put it in place, see if we have any fine-tune adjustments, and then we'll make those after. So take our measurements and then go out in the garage and then cut the panel and bring it on in. So once we've cut all the holes in this panel, sized it to fit, got the silicone on it, we're going to go ahead and set it right in place and adhere it to the wall. And one tip to help the panel stick to the wall a little bit better, a little bit faster, is once you have the panel pressed up against the wall, is to pull it back away and let some air get to that silicone. Let some air get to the silicone. You can see how the little circles will act like suction cups, and that's the importance of the circle part of the silicone. So let a little air get to that, and that'll speed up the cure of the silicone, so that when we do press it back, it'll stick that much faster.